After reports surfaced of a covert shipment of advanced weapons tied to Moscow, North Korean leader Kim Jong-Un has reportedly made a consequential nuclear move, an action that analysts say could further destabilize regional security and complicate diplomatic containment efforts. Kim is simultaneously expanding his country's infrastructure for producing weapons-grade nuclear material, investing in facilities and technologies that would increase Pyongyang's capacity to sustain a larger and more diverse nuclear arsenal amid the wider crisis around Iran. China's closest strategic partners are accelerating preparedness measures in response to growing fears of a potential Taiwanese invasion, stepping up joint planning, logistics, and covert support options to brace for high-intensity cross-strait contingency. Together, Russia and North Korea appear positioned to constrain US options and absorb political pressure while China pursues coercive moves toward Taiwan, a de facto alignment that could limit Washington's freedom of action and reshape alliance calculations in the Indo Pacific. North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-Un, personally inspected a newly reported factory dedicated to producing nuclear materials, a high-profile visit that signals Pyongyang's intense focus on expanding its nuclear production infrastructure and projecting strength to both domestic and international audiences. During the tour, Kim reviewed production lines described as employing advanced technology, according to reports dated June 3, a claim that North Korean state media and allied outlets used to underscore improvements in efficiency and technical sophistication at the facility. Details of the North Korean leader's inspection were carried by Sputnik International, which cited official sources and imagery to outline the itinerary and the regime's public narrative about the factory's capabilities and strategic importance. North Korea's state news agency KCNA, quoted via Sputnik, claimed that the country's capacity to produce weapons-grade nuclear material has doubled over the past 5 years, an assertion intended to portray rapid progress in Pyongyang's nuclear program and to deter external pressure. Kim Jong-un also convened a high-level meeting focused on bolstering North Korea's nuclear forces, a session that reportedly reviewed force posture, production priorities, and plans to accelerate modernization across the nuclear enterprise. In his remarks, Kim was reported to have said that strengthening nuclear deterrence is essential for national security, framing the expansion of capabilities as a defensive necessity in the face of perceived external threats. The timing of Kim Jong-un's inspection followed media reports alleging secretive shipments from Russia to North Korea, a linkage that analysts say could have influenced Pyongyang's decision to highlight its own production advances and to coordinate messaging with Moscow. As tensions escalate around Taiwan, analysts and commentators are increasingly voicing concerns and speculation that an arms shipment may be en route to one of China's key regional allies, a development that could further complicate an already volatile security environment and prompt fresh international scrutiny. According to investigative reports and maritime tracking data, a Russian-flagged cargo vessel that has previously been implicated in suspected arms smuggling activities made a port call in North Korea, an event that has raised alarms among regional security watchers and added a new layer of suspicion to the ship's recent movements. Prior reporting and open-source intelligence link this freighter to covert logistics networks thought to have transported military material in support of operations related to the conflict in Ukraine, casting its subsequent voyage to North Korea in a more troubling light for observers monitoring global arms flows. On June 2nd, the investigative outlet NK News published a detailed account of the purported Russian shipment to North Korea, laying out timelines, satellite imagery, and vessel tracking anomalies. The NK News probe concluded that the Russian freighter engaged in deliberate efforts to obscure its voyage, maneuvers that included turning off tracking transponders and altering reported course data. Investigators found the cargo was reportedly offloaded at the North Korean port of Rason during May, and that the vessel took deliberate measures to conceal its precise location during that period. Imagery and observer accounts indicate the ship was seen transferring objects that looked like wooden crates onto the dock, but the contents of those crates remain unverified and unspecified, leaving open serious questions about whether they contain conventional goods, dual-use materials, or prohibited weaponry. Tracking records show the vessel ceased broadcasting its geolocation on May 28, a move that coincided with an unexpected detour toward the North Korean coastline and which analysts interpret as a calculated step to evade routine maritime surveillance systems. After the period of silence, the freighter restarted its automatic identification system transmissions on May 30th, reporting a course that placed it back en route toward Russian waters near Vladivostok. The three-day interruption in the ship's broadcast history coincides precisely with the window in which the freighter was observed at the DPRK's Rason port on May 29 to 30th, creating a suspicious overlap that strengthens the case made by investigators that the communication blackout was intended to facilitate an unreported transfer. Before its voyage toward Rason, the Russian vessel maintained continuous transmissions of its position and movements, according to reports. Satellite imagery captured by Planet Labs documented the ship's arrival at Sovetskaya Gavin on May 22, providing visual confirmation of the vessel's presence there and giving analysts a timestamp reference for reconstructing its subsequent itinerary. Once in port, the freighter was recorded as berthing at a pier directly adjacent to a sawmill facility known for shipping timber goods, an alignment that observers note could provide a convenient cover story for loading or unloading cargo while minimizing outside scrutiny. The clandestine shipping trip took place against a backdrop of sharply heightened concern over potential China-Taiwan conflict, a tense regional atmosphere that has amplified the strategic consequences of any suspected arms movements or unusual maritime activity. Speculation about an imminent invasion of Taiwan has surged in recent weeks following US President Trump's trip to China, a diplomatic event that many analysts say has intensified debate over Beijing's intentions and the timing of any potential military action. Chinese President Xi Jinping issued an explicit warning to the United States against intervening over Taiwan, publicly cautioning that interference could lead to serious confrontation and using language that underscored Beijing's readiness to defend what it considers its sovereign interests.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.